Israeli forces intensifying an offensive to take Gaza City, defying pressure from the international community to end strikes and resume peace talks. A mayhem as Israel strikes Deir al-Balah and Gaza City in the north. The IDF claims it is targeting remaining Hamas strongholds. Hamas says Israel's renewed assault is getting in the way of a ceasefire deal. More than 1 million people up north are expected to flee. Israeli forces promising to issue evacuation orders before they engage in combat. UN Chief Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate ceasefire.
I must reiterate that it is vital to reach immediately a ceasefire in Gaza and the unconditional release of all hostages, and to avoid the massive deaths and destruction that a military operation against Gaza City would inevitably cause.
And more Blake Sifton joins us live from Tel Aviv. Blake, Israel confirming that it is already in the early stages of this expanded military operation to take Gaza City. What would this early stage involve?
Good evening, Wei Su. This initial Israeli military operation on the outskirts of Gaza City is targeting the neighborhood of Zaytun as well as the nearby city of Jabalia. We understand that these are essentially shaping operations ahead of the main offensive to take Gaza City that is expected in the coming weeks. These neighborhoods have been experiencing widespread artillery shelling as well as heavy airstrikes. Thousands of civilians have been leaving those areas to other neighborhoods in Gaza City, and those neighborhoods, the streets in those neighborhoods, are now filled with their tents. Last night, Wednesday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that he had ordered the military to shorten their timeline for the offensive to take Gaza City, and today they are expected to present him with their plan. But it's unclear how they would shorten that timeline. We understand that it will take weeks to mobilize the 60,000 Israeli reservist soldiers who were called up yesterday. And the Israeli military has also said that they would first build tents and infrastructure in southern Gaza to house the hundreds of thousands of Palestinian civilians who would be expected to be displaced from Gaza City. Now, this plan to take Gaza City and other areas has drawn widespread international condemnation. Red Cross has called this whole situation intolerable, and the UN says this plan to take Gaza City condemns malnourished children, of course, amidst the widespread starvation crisis already underway in Gaza.
Blake, this shortening of the timeline of the offensive at the directive of the Israeli Prime Minister, presumably that would have an effect on any kind of ceasefire negotiations, any acceptance of the proposal. Hamas accepting the latest version. We are still waiting, I take it, for the formal official Israeli response to this latest ceasefire proposal.
Well, there are reports that the Israeli government may simply choose just not to reply to the ceasefire proposal put forth by mediators and agreed to by Hamas. Netanyahu has not convened a cabinet meeting to discuss it, and there are also reports that the government doesn't plan to send negotiators to any talks in Egypt or in Qatar. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu relies on his far-right coalition partners for the survival of his government, and they are completely against this ceasefire. They want the reoccupation, the resettlement of Gaza. And Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich is said to have told the family members of the hostages held captive in Gaza that if Netanyahu were to accept this ceasefire, that he would leave the government. Now, other opposition leaders, including centrist Yair Lapid, have said that if that were to happen, they would step in, they would prop up the Netanyahu government in order to allow for a ceasefire to happen. But Netanyahu does not seem keen to rely on them, and he does seem set on proceeding with this operation to capture Gaza City. Hamas have said that this plan to capture Gaza City shows Israel's blatant disregard, as they say, for the efforts made by the mediators to reach a ceasefire. And the families of the hostages held captive in Gaza have said that this failure by the government to reply to the proposal shows that they have chosen to sacrifice the hostages.
Thanks. Blake Sifton there reporting live from Tel Aviv.